who are writing, or maybe you want to take any note, any of this terminology, this is called zon. The meaning any of zon, and maybe you want to write this down, is anything from 51% to 99%. 51% to 99%, and it is zon. Yaqeen is 100%. 50-50 is shak. Anything below 50, yani from 1 to 49 is wahm. So altogether there are 4. Number 1, we have zon. Zon, and it is from 51 to 99. Yaqeen is 100%. 50-50 is shak. Anything that is less than 50, 49 below, it is called wahm. So in ibadah, zon yani is accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning even though you are not really convinced, yani, but basically you are just based on the color, for example. But you are not like 100% and confirm yaqeen, that you are confirmed that this is, like for example, a person sees a dog comes and in front of his eyes and he sees the dog drink any from pail number 1. Then the dog and he goes away. Now this is yaqeen and he's pail number 2 and he's not najis. Pail number 1 is najis. This is called yaqeen, yani meaning 100% and you see it with your own eyes. But when it comes into zon and it comes to ijtihad, yani you do not know any which one, but you look for signs and then say most possibility it is this one. Now this is what the meaning of zon. To be pure based on its signs, and whether we are speaking about the color, we are speaking about movement of water, or sometimes even the scent. For example, we see the footsteps of the dog at the sand near the pail number 1. But pail number 2, there is no steps of any animals. So now you know that pail number 2 is tahir, is pure. Pail number 1 is najis. That indicates its purity even if he's blind. Meaning even a blind person can do ijtihad. A blind person can do ijtihad. How does a blind person do ijtihad? A blind person does ijtihad by smelling, by touching. Although we say that he cannot see, but he can smell, but he can hear, for example. So this is also a kind of ijtihad, that even a blind person also he can perform any ijtihad. طيب. Then the author mentioned إذا أخبره بتنجسه ثقة وبين السبب. So now we have a situation where a person who is trusted and he comes to you and tells you that the first pail is najis, second pail is pure. So we have to look at this person. Can this person be trusted or not trusted? If he is an upright person, meaning you do not know anything bad about this person, and you find him and always, mashallah, at the masjid, and for example, always he does any good things, and you do not know about any bad things that he does, or ma'siyah, that major sin that he does, and then he explains the reason. He said that, for example, I saw a dog licked from the first pail, and it's not the second pail. So don't use the first pail, you can use the second pail. Then khalas, we can follow him. Or even if he doesn't explain why, but he is a faqih. This one the author mentioned. Faqih meaning he knows about chapter of tahara very well. He knows what is najis and what is not najis. What is najis is forgiven, and what is najis and that is not forgiven. Faqihan muwafiqan. And this particular faqih is muwafiq. Muwafiq meaning you are following the same madhab as what he is following. This is the meaning of muwafiqan. For example, if there is a faqih that is from the Maliki madhab, for example, in the madhab Imam Malik, they do not consider dog to be a major filth. So if a faqih Maliki from the Maliki madhab tells you this is not najis and he's speaking about the dog, and then you have to ascertain with him, do you mean the dog drinks any from this water or does not drink any from this water? Because he might be seeing that the dog drank any from this water, but to him the dog is not najis. So he's just telling you no problem, and you can use this water. But it is different if you see a faqih from the madhab Imam Shafi, for example, that you see a person who is learned in the madhab of Imam Shafi, who is teaching fiqh, for example, who knows about the chapter of tahara very well, and he tells you, okay, the first pail is pure, the second pail is najis. Khalas, and straight away you can follow what he's saying. There is no need any for you any to ask him what is the reason and you are saying. If this particular person is faqih. But if it's not a faqih and for example he's a layman, but he's a person that you can trust, then you can ask him, why do you say that it's not so? So you said that just now earlier and I saw a dog. The dog any drinks any from the first pill, but the second pill, alhamdulillah, it doesn't any touch any the second pill and so on. Then and you can trust, and if this person any is, if this person any is trusted. So I hope any it is clear, inshallah. The difference any between a person whom you can trust, if you can trust him, meaning he doesn't any say lie any for example, and then he explains any the reason, you can take in his view, or another person any who is a faqih, and he explains any to you, and you can accept any his explanation if you know that he follows basically the judgments or the rulings any within the same madhab and is what you are following. So let us any read the English text. When informed about the impurity of water, in either one of two containers by a trusted individual, and he explains the cause of it being impure or used or pure. Sometimes he said, for example, water is musta'mal. If he's a faqih, khalas, he knows what he's saying. But if he's a layman and he said it's musta'mal, then you have to ask, how come any musta'mal? He says, for example, somebody comes and wash his feet, for example. This is not musta'mal, correct or not? So the definition of musta'mal, I think I mentioned in the first or second class, that when you use any water to remove a ritual state of impurity or major state of impurity, that is the meaning of musta'mal. Or he is learned, faqih, and his judgments are based on the same madhab, school of thought, and you are able to verify his claim, hence you should hold on to his view or opinion. Naam, without any doing ijtihad, meaning you can follow his opinion. And then the author he speaks about containers. After he spoke about the rulings of water. We spoke about the meaning of mutlaq, the meaning of musta'mal, the meaning of mutanajjis. We spoke about water that is less than 2 qullah, water that is more than 2 qullah, and we spoke about the exceptions of najis. There are certain najis that is forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if you drop into water, like the example of the insect, where when you cut the body, blood doesn't flow. It falls into a small amount of water. It does not contaminate the water or make it filthy, unless if the color changes or characteristics changes. It is forgiven in the sense. If a fly fell into a small amount of water, or a cockroach or lizard, for example, you can still use the water for tahara, to take wudu and to bathe the obligatory bath. When it comes to najis, then we differentiate between water that is less than 2 qullah, water that is more than 2 qullah. If najis fell into water that is less than 2 qullah, automatically it makes the water mutanajjis. If it is fell into water that is more than 2 qullah, it doesn't make the water mutanajjis unless if the characteristics of the water change. When it comes into musta'mal only we speak about water that is less than 2 qullah. There is no such thing as musta'mal with water that is large in amount. So if water is less than 2 qullah and you use to remove ritual impurities, then the excess is considered to be used water. So basically we have mutlaq, we have musta'mal, we have mutanajjis, and we spoke about mushammas. Mushammas water that is below the sun, dried below the sun, in a place that is hot, in a weather that is hot, and in containers of metallic containers. Some of our fuqaha mentioned it is makruh to use water that is mushammas when it is hot, because it can cause harm to your bodies. So basically these are just a summary of what we have mentioned in the beginning of the kitab Muqaddimah Hadramiyyah. And then the author speaks about the containers. Speak about the containers. And this is based on the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the prohibition to eat and drink from containers that are made from gold and silver. So he said it is prohibited to use containers which are made of gold and silver, except during emergency, except when there is a need to. So basically it means that it is not permissible for a Muslim to eat or to drink, or even to take a container for example, just to put it in his house. It is not permissible. It is not permissible any for us any to drink from containers that are made of gold and silver, and it is not any for us any to take it up as ornaments any that we put in our houses. It is also any not permissible, unless any we are in a state any of darura, for example, we do not have anything else, and we are in need any to use it. Then it is any permissible. It is also prohibited to use even a small container. Even the container any is small, such as a small container of eyeliner. This muqhula. This is a muqhula, and we call it. It is a container any for eyeliner. Like last time, what they do is they pound a certain type of rock, and then after that, they make it into dust, and then they put it into this metallic containers, and then there is a small rod that you dip into the dust, and then you put as the eyeliner. This is called muqhula. Nowadays, also we have the traditional one, but nowadays usually people use the basically the containers made in plastic, correct? No? But last time they have this metallic containers for the eyeliners. It is not permissible for us to use this this container for the eyeliner, which is made of gold and silver. Even if it is a small container. As well as containers we have been patched by gold. So we cannot use made of gold and silver, and we cannot also use patches of gold or silver. But pertaining to silver, there is an exception. So before we speak about silver, basically the thing is this: any containers made of gold, or it is patched by gold, this is prohibited. This is no exception. Any containers that is made of gold. The thing about containers also, we must understand what the author is speaking about. It is not only about containers where that you store something, but it is something that you use to lift food or to lift water. So fork and spoon is part of it, because in Arabic we call it awani. Awani, it includes containers, it includes utensils. Now in English we call it utensils. So when we speak about utensils, and we speak about fork, spoon, ladle, pots, and cups, all these are basically our plates, for example, all these are part of al-awani. So it is not permissible for us to use gold for fork and spoon, or for plates, or to patch the plates. For example, if you have a plate that is broken, or cup that is broken, it is not permissible to patch it with gold. So this is point number one pertaining to gold. I hope is clear. When it comes to gold, all types of patches is prohibited, and using gold in awani is prohibited, and there are no differences in our madhab. Now, but pertaining to silver, this is where the author is going to speak about. There is an exception. Why there is an exception? Now, if you look at the Prophet ﷺ, once his cup broke, the Prophet ﷺ, and he has a mug. It is like a mug that he used to drink. So one day the mug fell, and then it broke, and the Prophet ﷺ, and he used silver to patch it up. Silver to patch it up. So because of this incident, our scholars they speak about this ruling, and they differ amongst themselves. Since the Prophet ﷺ said that it is not permissible to use gold and silver, but the Prophet ﷺ patched his cup with silver. Now this is an exception. This is an exception. So what we can understand, we have a hadith that is general, and we have a hadith that is specific. The general hadith is that the Prophet ﷺ prohibit the use of gold and silver in utensils and containers. This is a general hadith. And then we have the action of the Prophet ﷺ, that he himself patched his broken cup with silver linings. So in this particular situation, this particular action, it specifies the hadith that is general. Meaning, pertaining to patching utensils or containers